So I'm Daryl Lyon, I'm a police inspector in Northamptonshire Police, and I lead the CIRV programme, the Community Initiative to Reduce Violence. So the Community Initiative to Reduce Violence is a programme that's ran in the United States, in Cincinnati, the CIRV programme in Boston, and then it moved across to Glasgow when they ran it under their Violence Reduction Unit. We've taken the principles of that programme and adapted it for use in Northamptonshire. I've been a police officer for 13 years. I've been the head of the CIRV programme since it started in February, and I wrote to Northamptonshire Police and said, I think we can use your integrated offender management programme to better effect, to help with the growing issue of young people entering into serious organised crime, gangs, drug dealing, and use a different approach that hadn't been tried in England before to prevent people entering into that way of life, and if they find themselves in it, how they can get themselves out. So we make it really easy to refer into the programme. So we staff a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week phone line. We have our own referral website. We scan for any concern from a police officer. They send reports into a central position. If the word gang is spotted in any of those referrals, we go and automatically take them to our triage meeting. So once we get a referral into the programme, we send a family support worker out to go and see that person, that family. The family support worker will go and get the consent from the family to discuss the family. Now they're in a position where they know exactly what's going to happen next as the family support worker. So they're going to say, it's from a non-threatening position to go and say, this programme is about offering you, the family, some help and some support to go and try and help your son or daughter who's got themselves involved in this situation. There's no upper or lower age limit, by the way, but it happens to be that about 80% of the people that are referred to us sit between 16 and 18. So we go and visit the family from a non-threatening perspective, saying how can we help and how can we help quickly. We get authority or support from the family to go and discuss them at that meeting in 82% of occasions when we visit. So we've got a really high success rate of getting people to say, I consent for my family, my son and my daughter to be discussed at that meeting. The meeting's purpose is to get the best and fully rounded picture of that family as we can. So health and attendance, the multi-agency safeguarding hub are there, youth offending, police, all the other agencies that we would need sit around that table, and so we can get the best snapshot of that person at that particular moment in time, so we can make the best decision on the first occasion. So there's no thresholds, there's no those kind of things go on, but we have all the information to make the best decisions to what we're going to do, and that's either do we send them directly to an intervention because it's relatively low level? Do we involve the school? Is there some support we can do in school? Or is it perhaps a bit high level where we say, no, we need a navigator to go and get involved today to go and start making a difference and helping this individual and this family? We have a family-centric approach. It's not on the individual, so we work with the family too, and we make really quick decisions from that triage process in terms of getting people involved. So we accept straight away about 50% of the referrals we receive. The other 50% are occasions where we can go and do some work, mostly in schools with the school, rather than have to have them taken into the programme. They're relatively low-level concerns, and we can put maybe 1 or 2 interventions in place straight away, which means that person can be safer. If they're accepted into the programme, they're generally assigned to a navigator, one of the family support workers, and then they work hard to go and try and get the young person, because it's generally young people, to engage with us. We don't just go for low-hanging fruit. We deal with people though that are coming out of prison for killing people, and to engage them and to get them settled when they come out, so they don't go back into their old lifestyles and cause even more harm. But we deal with people all the way from really low ends when they're starting to show that they're involved in gangs in some way. So we then end up though with a relatively large group of people that the families want them to engage with us, we want to engage with them, but they don't want to engage with us. And what we do with that group is we are clinical in looking for ways that person can engage with us. So we look for what we call teachable moments. So has that person been arrested? Have we received any further intelligence on that person that suggests that now they would engage with us where they wouldn't maybe 6 months ago? Once we've received a referral for that person and we've decided we want to work with them, we don't ever stop trying until they engage with us, or until there's absolutely no indication anymore that they're involved in anything. So it might take 7, 8, 9 times to try and keep engaging that person. And it doesn't matter what time of day that teachable moment occurs. If they're in custody at 1 o'clock in the morning 100 miles away, we would go and send someone to go and see them in custody at 1 o'clock in the morning 100 miles away. And that's to show that we are dependable, we are reliable, we do the things that other people won't do, and we go and we're able to start forming a trust-based relationship really early on. And for some of our higher end gang members who have been arrested for running county lines across the UK, that's been a really effective tactic. If we're able to get in front of them in custody to go and say, "CIRV, come and see you again. Clearly life isn't going the way you thought it was going to go as a drug dealer. Maybe you need to look at something that's different." And we draw their attention to the fact that maybe this isn't the way they thought their life was going to go. So you haven't slept in 2 days, you haven't eaten in 2 days. You know, the Rolex watch I don't see on your wrist, I actually see you've been in custody again for the 4th time this week somewhere up and down the country. Maybe you need to look at a different way of running your life, and we can connect you to that in a way that's quick, that's effective. It'll be with a person that will walk that journey with you, and we've got some of the best interventions in the UK. We work with Lisa Lashes, who's an international artist. She places people into a Lisa Lashes School of Music. That's really engaging. They get to meet international DJs and artists and people in the music industry, which is really attractive to them. But also they provide their functional skill support, so help with reading, writing, maths, and they look for opportunities either within the industry, or they'll give them CVs and supporting letters to go and find jobs elsewhere. And we employ someone that goes and looks for those opportunities too. So we employ someone who looks for businesses who want to give back and help them do that. So how can they do that practically? And also if a member of our cohort has a particular thing they want to do, because it's all about what they want to do, not what we've got on offer, he will go and find that opportunity for them. So that's in addition to the careers advisors we've got. We had someone who wanted to work at a premiership car manufacturer. They unfortunately didn't respond to us, but we managed to go and find them somewhere else that would. There was a semi-premiership car manufacturer, and they agreed to go and give them an apprenticeship. And we found that opportunity for them and placed them into the opportunity. And what's attractive to the business is that they also come with a huge amount of support. So if something starts to go wrong, they've got a navigator they can speak to, so one of the officers who would go and try and resolve some of those things. And the navigator is a central point that will coordinate all of those things that are going on in that young person's life. And at any one time, we're probably managing anywhere around about 70 to 100 people that run the programme and being actively supported and managed. Some require really intensive support, and the officers have to be really flexible about how they do that. But we could also have people that require relatively light touch stuff and just need a bit of a point in the right direction. Anyone who's over 18 on the programme, we insist that they wear a GPS tag. So we need to know that they're not doing some of the things they said they were doing before. And as I speak to you now, we've got about 35 people in the county wearing GPS tags, and these are some of our most high-end drug dealers and gang members, and they wear it by choice. So we've got nowhere forcing them to wear it, but our support offer is so strong that they choose to wear it. If they don't wear it, then they don't get supported, and it's a rule that we won't relax for anyone who's over 18. Anyone who's under 18, we have to make a judgment call on that. So because they used to be let down by organisations and in some occasions parents, schools, a number of other individuals that may have had contact within their lives, we've made the decision where we don't insist straight away that they wear a GPS tag. If they give us reason to in the future, then that's a conversation. So, for example, if someone who started working with us, they then get arrested for an offence that's gang related, we'd then say, right, we now need you to wear a GPS tag. Now, I can't remember a single time where they've not done that, because by that stage we've already had a good relationship with them. They see the benefit of that relationship, and to continue working with us, they say, okay, now I'll wear a GPS tag. The GPS tag also enables them to then say no to the gang. They're not usable by the gang when they've got a GPS tag on. They can say, the police has tagged me, we'll give them something to say to the gang members, to say, I can't now go and run a county line for you because the police are going to know where I am. I've been tagged, I can't leave, and therefore I can't associate with you. And that's a really effective tool that we've got that enables them to do that. We upload all the GPS points from the previous 24 hours crime into that system, so we know definitively if they've been involved in any offending. We can see the addresses they're visiting most regularly. It causes us to then have some conversations. You know, why are you in Leicestershire when you live in Northamptonshire at 4 o'clock in the morning? What are you doing over there? We never would have had access to that level of intelligence had we not have asked for GPS tagging. So it means that trust relationship can be maintained because we know they're doing the things that they say they should be doing. We can see they're remaining engaged in the programme, and we're continuing to support them in doing our bit. Yeah. So the GPS tags are an expensive device for us to put on somebody, so we don't have them to wear them forever, but as our first rule is when does it feel right, each case will be different. Some people ask to keep them on because it keeps them honest. They know that that's the one thing that's stopping them going back to offending. But when it feels like it's the right thing to do is when we remove that tag. And that's when that trust relationship moves forward. We can then say, we think we've reached a position where you no longer need to wear a GPS tag. And of course that reinforces the trust even more. But it's always on the condition, whilst they're being supported, that if we receive intelligence or information that they're going back to offending again, then that we have to revisit that. Every case is reviewed each month in detail, so that's when they've got we have a supervisor review the case with the case officer to make sure that those things are being considered. We invest in this team also in coaching for every member of staff, because it's really important that they feel so they're empowered to go and make the decisions. It's also a very stressful role to do because it's not driven by process, it's driven by the individual. They can take it very personally when someone fails, when someone doesn't go the way you hope they might go, and also that can translate to stress. So we have to make sure that the people that the navigators in particular are really well supported, and that we treat everyone decently, so that translates into treating the people that we're working with decently too, and that's a really important element of the programme. This programme is not about the interventions. The interventions make us more effective. The programme is about the unique way that we're able to operate with the people that we're trying to engage, because most services deal with a very process-centric way. This is not at all process-centric, it is people-centric. We've got some of the best people involved in the programme. That's what I picked up from the Scottish Violence Reduction Unit. It was about the quality of the people they had in the programme, and we needed to find equally quality people here too, that understand the importance of relationships, that can form relationships, that can be honest, decent, reliable individuals. There's no shortage of those in policing, and I've got some of the best communicators that you could possibly find in this country engaging gang members, and that's why we're effective at doing what we're doing.